Chukwumwego 11 billion naira 11 B Ifadi romike bonade Achoba fu no di romiko na badibi Onwugbo onye nwelego akwa na-ebelu onye nwelego na dị iche akwa na-ebelu nwe ogbenye na dịkwa iche maka ife ga-ejikwa onye nwelego n'ọdị adị mana a ga-eje mbibi ma ọ bụ lani wekwa nwa ogbenye onye na-enwere ego na-afụju anya o nwere aka ịkọ nchọli ịkọ ọlụ unu o nwere ife melede jibe nwe o nwere ife ndị yọba chukwu 1 billion o nwere ife ndị yọba chukwu 1 bi ọ bụ nke ọlụ unu
Ìdùmarè sọ̀rọ̀ mi dayọ̀ mo dúpẹ́ hallelujah hallelujah. Ìdùmarè sọ̀rọ̀ mi dayọ̀ mo wá ṣọpẹ́ hallelujah hallelujah. Orí burúkú kì í ṣe tèmi o mo dúpẹ́. Ìbànújẹ́ kò sí.
Wannan kiɗin tica ne wannan batun tica ne tica uban karatu. Wanda ka gan shi duk wajen nan babba ne da yaro ba dan akwai tica ba shi ma ba zai iya ba. Wanda ka gan shi duk wajen nan babba ne da yaro albarkacin tica ne ba dan akwai tica ba haka nan ba zai iya. Idan ka haifi ɗanka ka kai shi gun karatu tica isa yanke farce isa yanke farce sannan ya wanke riga ide aji ka gane yaro izan karatu. Idan kwatanka ya kwana ɗaya ya kwana biyu bai zo cikin tica ka gane zai bi shi har gidansu ya duba lafiya ta yi. Masu Dokta Bunza to ai ga su Dokta Bunza mun zama aikace ne. Idan ka haifi ɗanka ka kai shi gun karatu in kwa ka kai shi gon karatu yayi university yayi yamal da rasha ya gangara america sannan ya sauka rasha ya gangaro ta london ya zo gida zauna ya yi gida da moto sannan ya samu aiki mala akwan a tashi wani ticen ku bai da keke to mai yasa hakan nan na gane ku ticoci aikin da duk kuke yi ba don kuɗi kuke ba taimakon ƙasa kuke yi kuraya yara sannan kuraya manya kuraya yau da gobe injiniyan gidaje
The time is 4:30. Distinguished professional colleagues, welcome to the NIPR FCT chapter meeting. We have a commitment to start right on time, and we're starting at exactly 4:30 as it should be. We want to, at this point, request that those at the registration get this done as quickly as possible and join us in good time so we can be together as it should be. At the moment, we request that all professional colleagues and newcomers may like to start by exchanging pleasantries, get to know the people around you, get to know those around you, and we will very, very shortly move on in the program. Also, you may want to quickly get yourself acquainted with the agenda, which is already being displayed. The chairman of the FCT chapter is also here on ground with us, and members of ESCO. So we begin with networking, and you can at this point get to meet the people around you, get to know who is around you. You never can tell. The next governor of your state may just be seated somewhere around you. You never can tell. My good friend Ikano is a minister designate, possible minister designate. So get to meet the people around you and know them. The chairman of the AGM is also very much here in our midst. And very, very distinguished colleagues are here, fellows, members, and associates. This is time for networking. Get to meet someone around you. But let me very, very specially recognize our special guest of honor, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Press Council, Dr. Dili Ezuga, is here with us. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, we appreciate you. And I want to particularly mention that as a very distinguished pressman, he's been here all the while. In fact, I think if I'm right, he must have been here maybe from 3 o'clock, almost an hour to the start time. Thank you very much for keeping to time, sir. We will also have our guest speaker I guess, at the registration point at the moment, will be joining us also shortly. So once again, we welcome everyone to this very, very, very great meeting, the October edition of the FCT chapter general meeting. And if you are a member at the FCT, you are welcome. If you are a member from another state, you are welcome. But do well to follow the steps of very distinguished Madam Sarah Sander by changing your membership from that state to Abuja. Yeah, if you need to change your membership, we can talk about it and we can get it done. Because this is the #1 chapter. You rather belong to Abuja chapter than belong to any other chapter. Tell me I can say that again. I'm covered by the Air Force, by the Army, and by heavy security artillery around me. So I'm not afraid to say anything I want to say. I hope they won't disown me when the time comes. All right, distinguished professional colleagues, once again, it's time for networking. For those of you just coming in, we're taking time to do some networking. 4:30, we said we're starting, and we're starting at exactly that time. So we'll do some networking. Shortly, we will have the opening prayer. If you've not registered, please ensure you register. We also have the QR code paper being passed around. You could scan the paper for registration. Endeavor to do that. That will also help you to be on the same page with us. And receiving the info that concerns the FCT is also very, very important. While we wait, this is the FCT chapter. It is the #1 chapter, and we can give you some very quick breaking news while we wait. Damasani has just entered and informing me of some breaking news that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has done some rejigging of the cabinet. In case you don't know, it's good we let you know that quickly. But just before I continue with that information, let me inform you that the Deputy Editor-in-Chief, Chairman, Editorial Board of Daily Trust, our very distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Hamza Idris, is here with us. Mr. Hamza Idris is our guest speaker today, and is somebody you can trust, just like Daily Trust. Give him a round of applause if you can. So back to the breaking news. It's confirmed that the president has done some rejigging of the cabinet, has relieved 5 ministers and reassigned 10 ministers to new ministerial portfolios. So for those of you from ministries and parastatals, you may want to keep abreast with this news so you are aware. But the new ministers designates are Megeri Denyadi, we have Jumoke Oduwole, we have Idi Meha, and we have Yusuf Atta, and we also have Shuaiba Ahmed. Other ministers designates will be told us in due time. And we also have some appointments, including Shehu Diko as chairman of National Sports Commission, Sunday Dari as special advisor to the president on public communication, and a couple of appointments going on at the moment. So that's breaking news for you to know. Once again, we are getting ready to take the opening prayer, as we're also having networking at the moment. The doyen of broadcasts, Chief Mrs. Moji Makojola, is here, and as you can tell, most people are around her at the moment. So it's networking time. We have a few more minutes to network before we take the opening prayer and formally begin. For those joining us online, please try to join us quickly. We're networking. You can also network online, especially if you're joining us from outside Nigeria. You can also get to do your networking. Check. So we are networking at the moment, as we said, and you can be sure that you can have the opportunity to make new friends, including my good friend Dr. Ikalon Udo. The princess of NIPR. Welcome. Council members, very distinguished, also coming in. A very distinguished former immediate past chairman and council member, also here, right there on the high table, as a very distinguished member of the ESCO. Hajia Miriam Sanusi. At least she's on the high table now that the president is not around yet. So once again, we appeal that we get to sit as we are almost set to start. Senior Admin Sec, list. We're almost set to begin. Our special guest of honor is here. Our guest speaker is sitting trusted daily on his seat. And we're requesting everyone to please join in and be seated as we get set to begin. Again, for those joining us online, please, you can also network online. By the way, Princess who joined us online at the last meeting is back, and we recognize her PhD award from the International University of Information Management, USA. And of course, a special letter of congratulations to our dear Princess Dr. Tiwala Defakpounda, FNIPR. So distinguished colleagues, professional colleagues, just 3 more minutes for networking and we will take the opening prayer. 3 more minutes. Please, if you've not registered, endeavor to do that now. We have a few more minutes to get that done. If you're just coming and you've not registered, ensure that you register so that we can have your detail and be able to send you information as you should. This is the October monthly meeting of the NIPR FCT chapter. Your agenda is on the screen. You can get yourself acquainted with it. The minutes will also be projected, but for those who are on the WhatsApp chat group, you can have access to the minutes there and online on your email. I've just been reminded by a very distinguished fellow that today is going to be the last monthly meeting before the AGM. So it's a very, very important meeting we're having here today. It's time for us to call the meeting to order. As I request that we all settle down as the chairman officially begins the meeting now. The chairman, distinguished fellow Stanley Ogadigo, now calls the meeting to order. DJ.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This meeting is hereby called to order. The PRO, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We ask that we all rise as we take, following the agenda, the anthem. The first verse will sing, and the third verse will be taken as opening prayer. The Nigerian national anthem, please. Thank you. Thank you. We'll take the third verse as opening prayer. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. The agenda is now projected. I'll hand over to Mr. Chairman to direct for adoption of the agenda. Mr. Chairman.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the agenda is up. We request that two members move the motion for adoption of the agenda so that we can proceed, please. Damasani, you have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, fellows here present, council members, professional colleagues, good evening all. I, Dr. Muhammad Kudu Abubakar, FNIPR, respectfully moved for the adoption of the agenda for this monthly meeting of the NIPR FCT chapter. I so move.
Who is seconding, please?
The hot princess.
Hi, Princess Dr. Tiwalade Fakonda, hereby second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We want to very quickly recognize very distinguished personalities here with us. We do know that Mr. President usually would not miss this meeting, but we have distinguished council members here with us. Very distinguished council member, fellow Bumi Badejo, is here with us. We recognize you, man. We recognize very distinguished council member, fellow Hajia Miriam Sanusi, here with us. We recognize very, very distinguished former chairman and former ranking council member, distinguished fellow Ohiri Osondu. I saw him a few moments ago. Okay, I know he's somewhere around. We recognize our very distinguished Chief Mrs. Moji Makojuola, MFR, here with us. We recognize also very, very distinguished Malam Kudu Abubakar, FNIPR. We recognize the chairman of the AGM committee, fellow Grace Ayola. We recognize the very distinguished fellow Grace Zamani. We recognize the princess, described by someone beside me as the hot princess, Princess Dr. Fakbo Unda, here with us. We recognize fellow Oyekola, here with us. We recognize Honorable Charles Ezobunwa, FNIPR. We recognize fellow Lawrence Adigwe. We recognize fellow Basil Okoye. We recognize from the ICPC, Mr. Ode Oka. We recognize the new Director of Information, Air Force, Nigerian Air Force, and representing him is the Deputy Director of Public Relations and Information from the headquarters of the Nigerian Air Force, very distinguished Air Commodore F.O. Akigboyewa. Thank you very much. He's here with some officers. We recognize Group Captain K. Ali. We also recognize very distinguished fellows that I may not be seeing, like fellow Emeribe right beside me. We recognize from the Security and Exchange Commission, Director from the Office of the Director General, Mr. Tude Kamali, here with us. Thank you for being here. We also recognize our very distinguished friend who helped me with the breaking news some moments ago, Director of News and Political Editor at Arise News Channel, very distinguished Mr. Sumna Shagari Sambo, here with us. He's also been here. I recognize fellow Afolabi, very distinguished fellow Dr. Afolabi, here with us. And I had earlier recognized the former council member, ranking for that matter, distinguished fellow Ohiri Osondu, here with us. I recognize the very distinguished fellow whose INEC prowess are known, continue to be known, will always be known, and can never be forgotten. Someone said, especially Edo. I don't know the details. But fellow Chinwe is here with us. I'm not sure if she was at Edo. And we recognize also, especially, very distinguished elders who are dotted in various parts of this room. Some I can see. Apologies if I can't see you. I'm sure the chairman, if he sees those I can't see, will also recognize them. In concluding recognition, from my end. Permit me to recognize here with us our very distinguished special guests of the occasion on the meeting today. A very distinguished gentleman par excellence, special guest of honor, Dr. Dili Ezuga, Executive Secretary, Nigeria Press Council. Also, seated beside him is our very distinguished guest speaker today, a man we can trust like Daily Trust, Deputy Editor-in-Chief and Chairman Editorial Board, Daily Trust, Mr. Hamza Idris. Thank you very much. Let me plead that we all do a quick recognition. By the way, I recognize Madam Sarah Sander. She's here. She's also been here very professional colleague. Good to see you. Please do that. You never can tell. The next person beside you may be a minister designate or the next governor of a certain state. So greet them now that you have the opportunity to, before protocol changes. I now hand over to the chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, the PRO. May I very respectfully recognize once again the special guest of honor for today, the DG of Nigeria Press Council. Please, can we give him a befitting round of applause? Thank you very much, sir, for the honor of your presence in our midst today. We appreciate. Then I want to equally recognize again the keynote speaker for today, the Chairman Editorial Board of Daily Trust. Look very young and CEO-ish. So maybe after this event, your becoming the CEO is closer. Let's give him a big round of applause. We equally want to recognize in the house the spokesperson for ICPC, our dear professional colleague Bakari. Can we put our hands together for him, please? Thank you very much for coming. The registrar, I don't know why you always choose to sit at the back. The president of the institute sits in the front, and that is befitting. On this note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to deploy the power of my office to invite the registrar of the institute,
yes, as a member of
Chief
FCT,
Uzoma Onyebadui,
to
please come to the front seat. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Mr. Registrar, I want off the mic. Okay, he's here. Okay. You're welcome, sir. Mr. Chairman, permit me to quickly also recognize very distinguished Hajia Lami. I'm told she's here. Hajia Lami is here in our midst. I was told maybe she's still at registration. We also have General Chris Olukolade, retired but never ever tired. He's still a young man at 16. There he is, wearing a 16-year-old cap, you can tell. Thank you, General, for being here. And quick recognition of Sandra, okay, Sarah Sandra, I already did that earlier. And Lieutenant Colonel A.Y. Nguda, Commandant, Nigerian Army. Thank you for being here. Mr. Chairman, sir. Okay, a quick recognition also of fellow Lieutenant Ahmed. Lantana, okay, Lantana Ahmed. Lantana Ahmed. Fellow Lantana Ahmed. I beg your pardon. And we have Chief Godson Ononiwu. He's here. Our very distinguished elder, Chief Godson Ononiwu. Thank you for being here, sir. We also have former spokesperson of the PDP, Chief Kola Ologbodiyan. He's here with us. I saw him on TV reminding Shehu that he's a journalist. And it was proving to him that he has left journalism to politicsism. Mr. Chairman, it's back to you, sir.
Thank you very much, PRO. Ajia has told me that we should not fine you for miscalling our dear mother and one of the oldest fellows, Ajia Lantana. Please, let's give her a bigger round of applause. Thank you very much, ma, for always identifying with us anytime you are in town. We appreciate. We equally want to recognize the distinguished fellow Azuka Ogugwa of ICPC, the immediate past spokesperson of the ICPC. She's not retired yet, so she has also been moved as director to another unit. Let's give her a big round of applause. Chief Lawrence Adigwe, I hope they have recognized you. If they have not, we recognize you. Distinguished fellow, thank you very much for coming. ARA, Aderinoye, is it there? Okay. Our dear brother Aliyu Umar, the former vice chairman of the chapter and distinguished fellow of the Institute of Applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I think we have done well in recognition. We'll keep recognizing as they keep coming in. And then for those of us who do not know, Chief Ononiwu is the oldest entrant into the institute. I don't want to tell you his age, but he decided that his joy will not be complete until he know him better. Please stand up for more recognition. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think only for keeping to time, we say 4:30 is for 4:30. And before 4:30, a lot of attendees were already seated. I want to thank you very, very profoundly once again for that. Today's meeting is very, very crucial. This is the last meeting for this year. The next meeting will be annual. Please, let's take as much as we can take and then enjoy as much as we can enjoy. After today's meeting, the next one will be January. But we shall meet again in another venue on the 28th day of this of November this year, where we'll now have our AGM, which the committee will speak to us not long from now. I just am excited to say that it's an AGM that is going to run on the back of technology. So you follow us as we move. Thank you very much, and I expect that this meeting shall be very fruitful with your active participation. Mr. PRO, you can take it from here, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my chairman. A quick recognition of the Registrar of Bingham University, Dubbery Misal. Thank you very much for being here, sir. The agenda earlier projected, and at the moment where we are is to have the minutes of the last meeting. This is already on your WhatsApp page and on your email. Please do well to check it as we speak. The minutes will now be projected as well. And you either follow the projected copy or the one you have. So we'll quickly take a look at page 1. Page 1. Page 1 has number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We move to page 2. Next. Please stop. Matters arising, which ends page 1. Do we move on to page 2, please? Page 2. Scroll up. Yes. Yes, please. Microphone. Mr. Uzo, who has the microphone, please? Yes, sir.
My name is Tunde Kamali, Director Officer of the Director General and the Securities and Exchange Commission. I'm a new member, but I'm very excited to be here today, and also undertake to be as active as I can be to contribute to the progress of this institute.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. So my correction is under the annual general meeting, AGM committee, the second line, programs. The R after the E, after R, after prog should be A, not E.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. That's noted. Senior Admin Secretary, I hope you are taking notes. We move on. Next page. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, stop there for a moment. We move on. Stop there for a moment. So there are a couple of corrections, I believe, here. Professor Okeke Chukwu will be full professor or just abbreviated as PROF. Any other correction? Yes. Yes, please. No, this is not. Microphone, please.
Sorry, I used to be an auditor.
Yes, please go ahead.
Ordinary line. Yes,
Go ahead.
Ruben Abati, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. The first line and the fourth name or the word before the end of that line. Ruben should not be RU.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Yes, yes, he had observed that. The peer has observed that.
Yes.
Then the third line to the last, dignitaries.
Yes, dignitaries,
Should
yes.
be dignitaries.
Yes.
Then the title of the event itself should be AGM Conference Dinner and Awards. Because it's never one award.
Correct.
You give awards to a lot of people.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much indeed. Thank you. So we take care of that correction? Yes, distinguished Damasani. Microphone.
I don't know whether it's my eyes, but I think the word prof there on okay.
Yes, I mentioned that
A
earlier.
should go,
Yes.
and yes, and I think the others are just
Change your camera.
Yeah, so Damasani, are you querying your eyes? As a very young man, your eyes is still okay. The last time I checked, you are still counting dollars appropriately. The AGM conference fee for all members. So we've done that. Can we move on now? Move up, please. Hold on. Hold on. Microphone. Yes. Okay. Yes, that's right. In due course, yes. That's right. So, Admin Secretary.
PRO, we have 2 minutes to finish up.
Okay, we'll move on. Admin Secretary, I hope you are taking notes. Okay. Can we stop there quickly? We're on this. Okay, next. This one looks clean. Next. Hold on. Okay, this one looks clean. Next. We're on page 4 now. This is also clean. Next. Okay. Next. This is a list, so it's straightforward. Hold on. Ended that. Okay. All right. Mr. Chairman. So for adoption as corrected.
You have the permission to call for motion for adoption, please.
By the permission of Mr. Chairman, please, if you wish to adopt the minutes as corrected, please indicate. Please indicate. Microphone is available. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Your on, sir.
Thank you very much. The name is Oko Ode. I move the motion to adopt the minutes as corrected, please.
Thank you very much. Very, very distinguished Oko Ode. Thank you, sir. Seconder?
My name is Azuka Ogugwa. I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Very distinguished professional colleague, Azuka Ogugwa from ICPC. And Oko Ode also from ICPC. They are not corrupt, are they? Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that is a very big way to announce institutional attendance. Can we give ICPC a bigger round of applause? Yeah, it's not just good enough that you come to sit. You also need to announce yourself and the organization. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to very, very respectfully recognize the presence of, initially I thought professor can only be one, but in his own case, I have seen dual professor. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to announce the presence of Professor Okeikichuku in the house. Let's give him a big round of applause. And for those of you who know very well, the first lecture we had in January that kept us up till this moment was done by him. And the title is simple: Do not lose your cool on the job. So let's give him a bigger round of applause. So you have to keep your character. Do not lose your character on the job. We equally want to recognize very respectfully somebody who has gone to the council, that some of us are still struggling to go once. But he had attended 3 good times. Somebody who has also paid his dues in the military circle. I normally enjoyed it when he was the director of Defense. Is it information? Yes. He coordinated very well. And today he is the chairman of NIPR Compliance Committee. We have in the house General Chris Olukolade. Thank you very much for coming. And then why I am announcing it for the second time, because I know the PRO has done it before, is because he had to leave a conference that is ongoing to attend this particular event. So if you are very excited for having him and for him foregoing the conference that is ongoing, can we give him a bigger round of applause? Thank you very much, General, for being with us here. The PRO, I think Matters Arising is the next.
Yes, sir. But just before then, sir, permit me. Chris Ndibe, the cameraman covered him. I just cited him. Now he's hiding behind the pillar. He's a very distinguished elder of the NIPR. We recognize you, sir. We also have Dr. Emeka Obinna here with us. We recognize you. And the reason why this hall seems to have some ginger is because fellow Ginger AK is in the room. We recognize you, distinguished fellow. Where exactly are you gingering from, sir? Identify yourself, sir. There he is. He's always at the center, ensuring the spread of the ginger. We move to Matters Arising, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. For those of us who are joining us for the first time, these people we are recognizing are the distinguished fellows of the Institute. It is customary and obligatory that we recognize distinguished fellows. One is that before you become a distinguished fellow of the Institute, just like all of us who went to the university and defended our theses and dissertations, so you have to do a paper on a topic that you have delivered on in terms of practical PR in your organization or elsewhere. And then you are going to do that presentation before the panel of fellows. And you must have above 70 marks to cross. Otherwise, you go and come back again. So, Fellowship of NIPR is not a child's play. And I think we are the only professional body with very limited number of fellows because of the rigors involved. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if you want to become a fellow, let's give our fellows a befitting round of applause. And I'm also delighted to announce that the fellows of the NIPR FCT chapter, they are doing very, very, very well. They have been very, very supportive. And I don't know any chapter of the Federation that you go, you see 20 fellows attending a chapter's monthly meeting. So I want to, on this note, appreciate our fellows for your support, both physical, financial, and otherwise. We appreciate you. We now call on the AGM chairman to please come forward and then give us your presentation or update for the AGM. Distinguished fellow Grace Ayola, are you in the house? If you are, please march straight to the podium. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ESCO members, council, fellows in the house, distinguished professional colleagues. Mr. Chairman, permit me to quickly give a report on our Mr. Chairman, ESCO members, council members, fellows in the house, professional colleagues, good evening. Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask for your permission to give a report on our pre-conference. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sorry. Thank you very much. Okay, the the PR Solution Spotlight, which was the flagship PR conference event, the pre-conference event of the NIPR FCT chapter, was held with a remarkable success. The event, which took place on October 19, 2024, at the Bolingo Hotel, attracted quality participation, demonstrating its importance in addressing real-world challenges faced by PR practitioners in the capital chapter. Among the distinguished attendees were one and only President, Dr. Ike Neliaku, FNIPR, and Chairman of Council, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. We also have Dr. Ande Iheme, FNIPR, a special guest who came all the way from Bauchi to grace the occasion. We also have, along with other esteemed professionals, practitioners spoke to the credibility and relevance of the program. The PR Spotlight, Solution Spotlight, was designed to provide a relatively informal platform where participants engage in practical decision of case studies drawn from real-life public relations challenges. These case studies were strategically selected to reflect the common issues faced by PR professionals in both and private sectors, following a survey that was circulated by the AGM committee. The event structure. The informal conversation adopted an interactive format which encouraged open dialogue and to share their experiences, exchange best practice, and collectively profile solution led by erudite guest speaker. Sorry, my sister. By the erudite guest speaker, Dr. Ande Iheme. The guest speaker and participants address the case studies, which include topics such as managing crisis communication, handling unrealistic expectations called bosses, and addressing bureaucratic bottlenecks to workspace creativity. Sorry. Our lessons and key takeaways. The quality participation of professional colleagues added significant value of the program. Practical case studies provided relatable scenarios, allowing participants to apply real-world solutions. The experience and eloquence of the guest speaker, Dr. Ande, encouraged knowledge sharing. Proposal for the Institute was the proposal by the President of the Institute, approach to professional development across the Institute. This proposal, which was also echoed by the Chairman of the FCT chapter, Mr. Stanley Ogadigo, FNIPR, underscores the success and relevance of the event. The conclusion. Feedbacks from the first edition of the PR Solution Spotlight generally showed that the event was impactful, as it provided valuable insights and practical decisions that resonate with PR professionals. The presence of top practitioners, including the President of the Institute, further added value to the program. The committee also strongly recommend that the chapter, and indeed the Institute, should adopt the PR Solution Spotlight based on needs, as a flagship edition has proven to be a vital platform for nurturing excellence in public relations practice. Appeal to members. As we gear towards the 2024 AGM conference proper, the committee appeals to PCs as follows. One, we call on members to support our drive for sponsorship by recommending organizations we can approach, assist in following up our letters in their various organizations, recommend special guests to the committee for invitation, register for the professional workshop, pay AGM fees on time to enable us plan. And 6, reach out to the committee for possible courtesy visit to your organizations as it may be necessary. Mr. Chairman, this is a report for the pre-conference event. The event proper, as we all know, it's starting from the 26th of November all up to 28. So we're all expected to do the needful, support the committee, and let's ensure that this year's AGM is a success. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much, fellow Grace. Are you going away? You have to stand at the hot podium until we release you. Thank you very much. Just like she rightly reported, the event was very, very successful. And then as you are watching, for those of you who were there, you saw your faces. For those of you who were not there, I wonder where you were on Saturday. And then it was very, very interesting that we learned so much. So much in an informal setting. I think that was the icing on the cake. It was really, really interesting. And the guest speaker really, really did us proud. He's a professional and a practitioner who really gave us life experience of how he managed public relations issues back then when he was the spokesperson of his organization. It was very, very interesting. And then because of the success or the huge success of it, like she rightly reported, the president of the institute has requested to borrow, that is the language he used, to borrow the concept and replicate it at the National Spokesperson Summit that is coming in May next year. If you are proud of your chapter, can you give yourself a big round of applause? So we are going to adopt that concept, and then the same guest speaker has also been approached by the president to also do exactly what he did at that function. It was really, really good. And I want to say that the chapter as well, as the president advised, that we should do it on need basis. So we look forward to more of this kind of engagement, even after the AGM, so that we'll really dissect the problems of public relations in the working environment. Thank you very much for starting very, very well. And for us at the Executive Committee, I think it has set a very, very good standard and then given us a good signal that we are going to have an excellent and robust AGM come 27th and 28th November 2024. So, I want to also join the committee to plead with all of us. She just abridged the report. They have a lot to achieve. And at that function, we mandated them, but we spoke on your behalf, that we need at that AGM nothing less than 3 ministers of the Federal Republic, 7 ministers. One is the Minister of Youth. That one is a specific request. No, not the sacked one. Yes. No.
It's not about the minister, it's about the ministry.
Yes.
It's
So,
about the ministry.
the issue, the idea is that there is something the FCT chapter, hello, there's something that the FCT chapter of the NIPR wants to do with our youth. Recently, the Institute inaugurated the Young Professionals Hub, and the FCT was the first to adopt and institutionalize that at chapter level. We are going beyond inaugurating them. We want to empower our youth. And then at that AGM, there will be some policy statements that will be made. And we want whoever is going to be the Minister of Youth at that time to be there in person. But the information we also got before now, before the sack, is also that the Minister of State for the ministry is also very open to working with us. So I will encourage our contact person to please move on. But the important thing is that we want to discuss our youth affairs in the presence of the Minister of Youth, whether state or the senior minister. Outside that, we are also expecting that with the caliber of personalities seated here in our midst, we should be able to get additional 2, because the minimum is 3 ministers to attend that event. Reason again, the keynote speaker has written to us, Dakuku Peterside, and wants to know who and who are going to be there with him to engage with him. We do not want to fall our hands. We must also give him the personalities that will also match his own personality. Like we reported earlier, he has waived the speaking of fees, which runs in dollars for us. And then, if it is a question of bringing dignitaries that will network and interact with him, I think we have more than enough personalities here to help us bring them. Yes, the fellow from the budget office of the Federation, Dr. Afolabi, is answering yes. So I know that your business with various ministers and ministries, you should be able to give us 1 or 2 ministers. Yes. So I want to, at this point, thank Kabiru. You are in the house. Stand up for recognition. Yes, let's clap on for him. Because when that offer was put to the floor, this young man stood up and told us that he will bring 2 ministers for us. So I need us to give him a round of applause that befits that kind of offer. So thank you very much. That is the spirit. So we're expecting that we have more than expected for that event. That is one. Secondly, the AGM committee, we need your support. I said in that program, they need nothing less than 50 million to do what they are asked to do, and then also push some things in terms of revenue to the chapter. They cannot do it alone, and I must commend the committee. Bringing Dr. Andy Heme from Bauchi to come and give us that very life experience that you cannot buy from anywhere was effort of the committee solely. They sponsored it, paid the bill, and then ensured that his stay here was very, very successful. So please, they are doing the best they can do, but they need more support from us, the members. And on this note, I want to just give an example of what is done in Nigeria Society of Engineers. If we can copy it, it is good to copy. Now we have one of them as our members. And then what is this man doing, this engineer doing every time the NIPR has a function? He will be the one to call. I learned you are doing a function. Take this 2 million. Take this 3 million. Take this 1 million. At the point to ask, engineer, what do you want us to do for you? Give us your advert or this. He said, no, I just want to support. So for some of us who are inquisitive, we had to ask, and he gave us the reason. He said the reason is simple. That is what they do in Nigeria Society of Engineers. You need to be proud of your profession, and you need to support your profession. So since then, I fell in love with his character and the way and manner he goes about his professionalism and excellence. So I want us to please copy what is good. And then for those of us who may not dip hands into our pockets to do like the man will do, we're also occupying 1 or 2 strategic offices. We are not telling you to give us in the wrong way, but because you have value to add to your organization, you can walk up to your CEO and say, sir, I want you to sponsor or support or partner in any language your industry or your organization understands better. Commit 5 million to this project and you see the result. So the man will respect you and do it. We have been doing it. So please, I want to appeal to our conscience to please support this AGM. It will not be nice that we give them an assignment and then we also want them to use their personal finances to sponsor the project. And then from the reports we have got from the committee, at the executive committee, I think they are really, really doing well. So please, they need your support. Grace may not have told you everything that is up, but I want to, on their behalf, solicit for serious and quality support from you. Then on the workshop for the AGM, this year we want to do something different. Like I said earlier, we have assembled up to 6 speakers in one day, but we have also learned from experience that in most cases you don't have time to really dissect issues. So this year, this committee has come up with only 3 personalities, profound personalities in the world of public relations, to teach public relations during the workshop. Who are these persons? The number 1 citizen of the institute. Of course, it's a delight anytime, any day. Dr. Iken Eliaku yesterday has graciously accepted to be a resource person at that workshop. And the topic he's going to be dealing with is the topic that is trending and more relevant today to all of us seated here. So he has undertaken to take up issue of reputation building and management. I want to invite all of you, come and learn from the master storyteller. Come and learn from the master reputation builder. Come and learn from the man who has seen it all at both private and public sectors. I will not talk much on that. He's going to lead discussions on reputation management in that workshop. Then the second person is our dear brother, the Secretary General of APRA. He's working in Nigerian Communications Commission, Omoniyi Ibeton. Is also a very sound fellow that you need to interact with. He is going to join Dr. Iki in that workshop. And the last but not the least is a professional colleague that lives in Lagos but is a friend of the chapter. Why are we bringing him from Lagos? We are bringing him from Lagos because the topic he's going to be talking on is trendy, and that is what also the public relations officers need today. I know that you know that AI is the way to go. We have got a professional and a competent hand who is going to take us, for those of us who are afraid, is going to take us from the cradle, from the foundation to where we need to be on AI. is very, very sound and competent. The committee has made arrangement for his flight. I've called him and he's going to be here with us. These are the only 3 persons that will be training us at that workshop. And I want to invite all of you to please be part of that. Subscribe and then be part of this wonderful experience. I think, Grace, that is exactly what you have told me to tell them on your behalf. And then we also want to appreciate at this point the fellows that are really, really paying their AGM fees. If you look at our platform, the fellows are really living up to expectations. So I want to urge the members and the associates and the graduate members to please follow suit. At the end of the day, that payment is going to guarantee your dinner and participation at that event. Very, very important. In case you have a question, okay, you can go and sit down. Okay. Then before I drop, let me very quickly recognize in our midst a man who believes in the cause of the chapter, no other than a professional that is also shining at the international arena, the spokesperson for the Nigeria Customs Services. Let's give him a big round of applause. Mewada, you are welcome. We appreciate you. Nigeria Customs Service, you are welcome. So, the PRO, I think that is the AGM committee's report. We now want to hear from the audience what Fellow Grace has presented. If you have anything to tell the committee so that they can effect between now and then. Otherwise, we'll go into the next item on the agenda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So if you have any question, any comments, please indicate. We want to do this very quickly. We also want to keep to time in ensuring that we close early. So let's be timely. If you do have, if you don't, my assumption, I'm not seeing any hand, is that, okay, we have one hand.
Thank you very much, Madam Committee Chairperson and my chairman. Once again, my name is Tunde Kamali. I have 2 comments. One is a question, the other is a comment. The question relates to the possibility of still taking on board volunteers onto the committee, if it's possible or not. And then the second is, in addition to the AGM fees, or can we think inwards and see how we can up the AGM fees a bit so that it will really contribute? And I'm saying this because this charity begins from home. You can't go outside and be seeking help if you have not built the foundation at home. It may not be so much money, but if everybody contributes, it becomes a lot of money. And that should help our cause. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I made 2 observations or contributions. I'm going to score him 1/2. We'll take one, and then for the other one, not really that we're dropping it, but because of the time we are, maybe next year we consider that. But for this year, let's maintain where we are, and then you can contribute to what he has said by going extra mile to do what you feel your conscience will allow you to do within and outside. But for this year, let's stick to what they have given to us. But for the the first request, yes, sir. If you need the authority, chairman, I hereby approve that you join the AGM committee so that they can also have as a volunteer, yes. So thank you very much for volunteering. The next item, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Any other? I assume there's none. We'll move on to the next matters arising, which is the reputation roundtable. Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very quickly, we just have 3 minutes for this report. We want to call the Reputation Roundtable Committee to quickly run down what they have. After that, we take our professional platform for today and we begin to round up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ifeanyi Nadi, and I'm here on behalf of the Reputation Roundtable Committee. Unfortunately, the chairman is not around, but we have the vice chairman around and the secretary as well. The committee is essentially a new one set up by the chairman and has mandated us to essentially bring a kind of roundtable for PR spokesperson for top organizations, where we can easily dissect the rudiments of reputation management as it affects the corporate organization. So we have a presentation that we want to just essentially show the house. But first of all, please allow me to stand on already existing protocols. While they're trying to load it, I'll just read from my phone. The objective, like I said, is supposed to be to have a 2-day reputation roundtable that would bring together reputation managers, PR professionals, thought leaders, captains of industries, especially for the purpose of harnessing and digging deep on how well we can really deep dive and protect the integrity of our organizations. We must say that this is a very exclusive event, so it's not exactly open to all. We're very targeted about it, looking at about 80 to 100 persons in terms of attendance. The theme we are giving for this program is Guardians of Corporate Integrity, Navigating Reputation Challenges in the Digital Era. I'm sure they will have it on the screen soon, but the objectives are as follows. We want to be able to ensure that we enhance professional skills of these spokesmen for these top organizations, such that every year they gather once in a year and we have this particular event. Want to make sure it's some kind of business solution whereby the PR spokesperson are able to put a claim as to why they have to continually come for this event, making sure that they continue to protect, not only gain new knowledge, but protect the integrity of the organization, which of course spills to the public as well. We also want to foster network and collaboration amongst these PR spokespersons of this committee. Also to promote best practices, amongst this, among the corporate organizations, but within this, the scope of this program we have. The other one is to see if we can also develop a spokesman code of conduct. Now, the spokesman's book of conduct is essentially like an SOP. Of course, that would lead into different contributions from the different stakeholders, but if we're able to kind of create that and adopt that, we believe that this would be a good guide for most of the corporate spokesmen as well. In terms of the event and structure, the overview, like I said, is a 2-day event. We're recommending Transcorp Hilton Abuja because we believe that for the nature of this event, we should definitely also work with a venue that would also befit this. The hotel has been, the reservations for this event has been booked. The date we're looking at is for 27th and 28th. Sorry, there are some edits that we've done here. We realized that the 29th is likely going to be a Wednesday, and that's like the last Wednesday of January in next year. So we had to take into attendance our general meeting as well. So the real dates should be 27th and 28th. Again, the target audience are C-suite, PR officers, directors and heads of PR, corporate comms, and senior reputation managers. Expected between 100. Yeah. So in terms of setting a foundation, what we're looking at is to have essentially 2 different sessions, a morning and evening session, such that we start with a keynote speech, and then of course we go into a panel session. That's for the morning session. And for the second afternoon session, we have just a keynote speech where we learn, the lead speaker is able to really dissect the topic given for the day. This is supposed to go on for day 1 and for day 2. But of course, as you can see, the panel discussion for day 1, as suggested, is innovative PR strategies for modern corporate world, And for the afternoon session, panel session, navigating the challenges of digital reputation management. Of course, the chairman has also talked about AI and how that affects us as well, but there are other parts to digital as well, including AI. For the training session for today, we're looking at crisis management, the strategies and best practices, and of course, that would help us to wrap up the day one. For the day two, the keynote presentation, the title we've given it is Future-Proofing Your Reputation, the Trends and Predictions. Part of what this will entail is understanding the current climate the PR industry is currently in. What are the things we're supposed to look at? What are the things that will probably affect the PR managers in terms of the technology, in terms of the people, in terms of trend within our local climate, and of course external climate as well. Also, what we're looking at is harnessing the power of data and analytics in reputation management. And of course, we're well aware that we already had, we now have a tool for tracking our reputation in terms of performance. That was just launched about 2 months ago. So how do we use this information that we get from data analytics? How do we use it to really understand the things that we're getting in terms of performance indexes and all that? This is very, very key for that as well. The other things we want to look at is building and sustaining a positive digital reputation. That's for the afternoon sessions for day two. In terms of speakers and facilitators we intend to use for this program, we've penned down some of them, not finalized. Of course, the conversations are almost concluded, or some of them are still ongoing, but we know that schedules are involved, planning and all that. So whilst we've listed some of them, we still have some to tweak, arrange and plan. So we'll skip this slide and go to the next slide. Yeah, but the criteria and everything, just go to the last slide as well. Yes, to the last slide. Yeah, but we just want to let everyone know that some of the criteria we use in selecting our speakers includes their expertise in PR and digital reputation management, their relevant industry experience and recognition. Yeah, and in terms of what we're looking at for proposed panelists for the day, those are also highlighted in the document as well. For registration and the materials we need. Now, before we were looking at something close to the AGM in terms of how payment for that, which was around 200,000, but we may have to, on consultation with the chairman and some other persons, we're looking at increasing it. Again, this is not for it's not everyone we're trying to target. We believe that most of these people that fall within this audience are people who understand the relevance of reputation management, and the organizations also understand what it means to invest in protecting reputation. I remember a quote from, I think it was Bill Gates at some point, who said that if he were down to his last penny, he would use it on public relations, which means he doesn't want anybody to ever think that he can ever be low. He's still part of reputation management as well. So we're looking at increasing the initial fee we had to about 400,000 instead of 250,000. But again, this is open to the audience. Part of what we're looking at now, the price is supposed to cover remember, it's for the 2 days and a Transcorp Hilton. It's supposed to cover their feeding for the day, supposed to cover their resources for the day, it's supposed to be able to help us as an institute to be profitable, but also to be able to give them back in terms of value. So listed on that as well is supposed to also be some of the extra material resources. Now, we're very, very value conscious in terms of why why people should be able to take out 2 days of their time to come and spend at the reputation roundtable. We understand that most of them would, question, because this is a first, so in terms of executing it, they'll be interested in value, the things they're able to learn, how it affects, the knowledge that they're getting is going to affect their immediate organizations when they go back, how the networking amongst the set of individuals, professional colleagues, how it will also help their personal brands as well, and of course how it will give back to the institute. So I know I'm fast spent, time is fast spent, but this is just a summary of what we're looking at. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please clap for him. Clap for him. Thank you very much, Mr. Ifeanyi. And it's always good to live what you preach. The young man that just spoke to us now is also a member of the Transcorp Hilton Group. And then since he was nominated into that committee, I've also seen his reputational standing. Can we give him a big round of applause? So with him there, we know that the venue we have taken is going to be a reality. And then I have had some discussions with them, and that is why he's keeping some of the things concerning the money. I want to speak very briefly on that. Like you said about the person that said, if I'm down with $1, I will spend it on PR. That is a very correct statement. And that is only person who knows the value of public relations. And that is exactly what the Institute is trying to rebuild today, to the point that our CEOs must know the value of public relations. So please, I want to plead with us passionately again. This is another project that is dear to the heart of this administration or this executive committee. And the reason is simple. We want to, as much as possible, empower our members. Because, like I said during the Spotlight Solution, the president of the Institute is opening doors of opportunities for the public relations officers or members of the Institute. A time shall come, and the time is no longer far. The time is very near, when the federal government will call on NIPR to produce members of the Institute who are going to man these various spokesman duties or positions. We must not fall the hands of the federal government or any organization that will beckon on us. So the FCT, as a matter of priority, is taking training very, very seriously. We have gone on Saturday to learn in a very informal environment. Is part of it. We are coming to formal environment during our AGM. Is part of it. More importantly, we are mounting this program called Reputation Roundtable purposely to strengthen our public relations officers, to build capacity that is needed for value addition in our organizations. It's only when you add value that your CEO or the entire organization will recognize your value. You must have value to add. So I plead with all of us, let us subscribe to this event. Do not be afraid of the money. Like he rightly said, the market is a different market. We are targeting the spokespersons of organizations or top management in public relations department. So we're not saying every organization just give us 10. No. We are very specific and we know what we want to achieve. Then as an individual, you can also subscribe if you are managing your own firm or PR consultancy and all that. So please, the price is going to be reviewed upwards, not downwards. I will not promise what I cannot deliver. In the course of interaction, to make sure that this program becomes a reality, I had an interaction with one of the best brains in the industry. And part of what I'm looking at with this event is more of branding. Those who can come and teach us how to do the business of branding is very, very key. Very, very key. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, may we recognize the presence of the Director General, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, our dear brother and father, Dr. Bulaman. You are welcome, sir. Come to the front, sir. Come to the front, sir. Give him a big round of applause. He's a Director General of the Federal Republic. Yes, thank you very much. You are welcome, sir. So, please, like I said, I was interacting with some of you may know him, Tokumbo Modupe. We call him Tugs. He's very, very serious and rugged practitioner that knows what he is doing. I was interacting with him, trying to bring him for this program. And he told me, say, my chairman, you know what? Yes, I will oblige you. However, I must come in business class. And I need a decent hotel. It's not, it's not as if that is the first time we are hearing business class. But it also boils down to the reputation. And he went further to tell me that that is the reputation he has built for himself. That even if it's a private trip he's going to fly business class. So after discussion with him, I came back to the committee and I asked them, how much are we charging for this fee? They told me $250. I said, you are not ready. Because by the time I remove the business class ticket and I pay a decent hotel for the resource person, I am looking at bringing like 2-3 persons from Lagos. And the reason is simple. We don't want to joke here. We want to really give those who will subscribe for this program the value for their money. So please, it's very, very serious. And we cannot execute it with 250,000 naira. And I told them, as a director of PR for the institute, for example, and somebody brings a reputation program for me and advertise it for 100,000, I'll look at you and look at the fee again, and look at today's current standard of living and everything. I will know that you're a joker. It's either I go there and get less for my time and all that. So please, let us not look at the money they are going to bring forward, but the value. I am believing that if we do 450, 400, 500, for example, for this event, at least by the time you come, I was asking them, there is no even good souvenir you can get now at 50K. Because if you pay me 450,000, for example, and you come for that reputation roundtable, the bag you should go with should be something reputable. The food we are going to eat in Transcorp today is 40,000. So if I remove 40,000 from 250,000 for feeding, that is for lunch. Then the tea break is almost equivalent. So, and I'll pay business class and pay either Sheraton or Abuja Continental for my guests. So please, I would plead with us to subscribe to this program, especially the spokespersons and very senior members of your department, to come and learn from industry practitioners. So, Mr. Ifeanyi, I want to thank you and your committee for the effort you are putting in. And then I want to also thank one of our council members who is also a member of that committee. That is Suleiman Haruna. He's also doing very, very great to ensure that we get to where we need to get to in terms of this program. And I want to equally mention, if you're a member of that committee, can you please come forward? Very quickly, in 30 seconds. If you're a member of that committee, come forward. Okay. Just face the audience. Very quickly. I thought General said he traveled. The General is coming all the way from Makurdi to this place. Let's give him a big round of applause. The General. The General. Thank you very much, sir. So, these are the members of this team. The first person is a board member of one of the federal establishments in the country, and we are happy that President Bola Tinubu has recognized one of our young chaps to make a board member. Mr. Ben, wave to the house, please. Yes, thank you very much. He's a member of this reputation roundtable. And then we have our sister at the NTA, Tekla. Is the secretary of that committee. Can you wave to us, please? Then, of course, Ifeanyi works with Transcore Hilton Group. And then Mr. Kibu is a very competent hand in the Federal Ministry of Information. Now he's on secondment to one of the organizations that deals with international organizations. So, Ekaite is not here. They are not plenty, but they are very serious-minded persons. Qualitative, yeah, Aja, thank you very much. Qualitative members. So please, do not drop the ball. The whole members are watching you. Anywhere you need them, please engage them. But I want to charge you to ensure that the first reputation roundtable will be a huge success. And the mandate is also to do it Monday, Tuesday, so that you come to report the success of it in our January meeting, which will be on that last Wednesday. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if you love the faces you are seeing, let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you very much. The question will just take like 2, then we move.
Okay, so if we have any questions, let's quickly take, we'll take one.
Okay, one from the back. The other one I will just allocate.
Okay.
Professor K. Ikechukwu is a man of reputation, and I know that he's hearing about this reputation roundtable. And he has also run some roundtables. So he will address us. Let's have the man at the back.
Yes. So, Mr. Reputation, Ifeanyi Nnadi will be answering the questions, I assume. Okay, so let's go. Is there a microphone there? Senior Admin Sec.
Come forward quickly, quickly.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So I'll be quick. My name is Dr. Obi Naizobi, and I like the program, the roundtable. I like how it was targeted, the positioning, but it looks quite busy. 2 days of high-level conversations, and no mention of team building, no provision for unwinding. It might get boring. So I will encourage the committee, find a way to provide some kind of window for networking, if you like, team building, so that it doesn't become too uptight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Nice one. So the last one will be from Prof. Who is taking the microphone?
Mr. Fine, please pass your microphone to Prof. Thank you.
Prof, the people say they want to see your face. Please come closer.
Okay.
Prof, it's a matter of reputation. You need to come closer.
No, they've seen my face. Can I now go and sit down?
No, you can now speak.
With the permission of the chairman, just a few observations. I'm resting on established protocols. A few things about the roundtable. Are we aware that NIPR is the best performing institute of professionals in Nigeria today? Seriously, not just observation. That's it. If you look at the series of programs we've had this year alone, that's number one. I'll urge us to attend also the meetings of other organizations, other institutes, other professional bodies, and check the attendance.
Sorry, Prof.
One house.
Can we have silence, please, and decorum? This is a reputational matter. We would not like to start calling names. Please, let's have some silence and decorum. Thank you. Prof, please go ahead, sir.
Yes, you attend such meetings because from time to time I have to go speak to some organizations during meetings like this. You rarely find their members who are holding public office in the meetings. Look around us. The question would be, who is not here? If you find out, like, say, the MD, I think, of Voice of Nigeria, the DG, if he's not here, it will be because he's not in town. So let these things not be lost on us. That's the second observation. The third one is, who is the head of customs? That's a Comptroller General of Customs, a member. I met him first in 2009 when we went to organize a training for them in Kaduna. He's the head of the Reputation Management Group. Who in that kind of position do you suppose will accept such a position except he has respect for his institute? So these things shouldn't be lost on us. the head of FRCN just walked in. We've seen heads of FRCN over the years. How many of them were coming here? So let's not lose sight of what we have. And then you speak of the round table. Yes, you might look at the cost. What I'll advise anybody who is interested, when is the date? January. And so I believe a lot of us can afford instrumental payment as members. If you begin to put aside some amount of money, 50, 70, by January there won't be so much to pay. It's professional growth. And this profession, with the way the president and the current cabinet has taken it, it can only be for professionals. It can only be your ability that will make you grow. We have a university we are setting up, among other things. So let us not play, as they say. That's about it on the money. That's about it on the membership. Then on the Nigerian Reputation Management Group has practically taken over the issue of what Nigeria is to be understood to be. Members of NIPR have a new coloration. Somebody mentioned branding. If you go to the history of branding, it's actually the mark you put on your cow when you come to cattle market. They were putting it on slaves. With it, you know who you are, who is the owner, what it represents. Some brand indicate the quality of meat. This is grade 1 meat. This is from dead cattle. An organization that's responsible for managing reputation cannot be but be branded as representing excellence. And that excellence must come in 3 or 4 forms. Turnout. How you appear matters. What you say matters. And I don't think I need to say more than that. You've called it a round table. The final point is on Tokumbo, whom you invited. I met Tokumbo for the first time 20 years ago. Then I was special assistant to the Minister of Information and National Orientation. We wanted to do the national image project. Tokumbo was the first person. He made fantastic designs. If you want Excel, look at the graphics he gave us. So if he wants a chartered flight, go and bring him. I'm not kidding. And about traveling business class, when people travel business class, it's not because they are wasting money. There are so many things you consider. You can walk in that compartment. For those of us who do a lot of things, even in flight. And also, you ask yourself, there are a lot of considerations. Tokumbo is a rare asset that must come. When people like that come, they have one major flaw, which is probably the flaw of people like me as well. Once they get a chance to give, they become incapable of restraining themselves. So you're going to get an overload. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. The committee, if I were you, I'll run after this man as one of the keynote speakers. But do not say I told you. There. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a very, very excellent way to kickstart this project. And like the Prof rightly said, it is not always good to take our own for granted. Seated in our front are DGs of federal government establishment. Like you rightly said, they are not easy to come by, but they find value in what we are doing and they are identifying with us. And then on behalf of the executive committee, we want to say a very big thank you to all our dignitaries that are here. We'll continue to do the assignment you have sent us to do, and then we promise not to let the guards down. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think we are done with the presentations. We'll now hand over to the PRO to invite the keynote speaker for today. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Very, very distinguished professional colleagues and very, very distinguished members, invited guests. Our keynote speaker today, or our guest speaker today, is a very distinguished man. But permit me to once again recognize my DG, Director General of the FRCN. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. We appreciate you. If you want to clap, do it very well. Don't do it privately. It's a reputational matter. If you know, you know. If you don't know, forget about it. Now, talking about not knowing, if you've not read Daily Trust newspaper, you can't be trusted, because most of the trust issues of Nigeria are on the pages of this paper. The guest speaker today is a man who can be trusted. He's the Deputy Editor-in-Chief and Chairman of the Editorial Board of the Daily Trust, one of the leading newspapers in Nigeria. He joined the company in 2005, 2 decades really ago, and reported from Adamawa, Yobe, and Borno State, where General just landed from, and I'm sure there were no bombs on the way. In 2015, he was redeployed to the newspaper headquarters here in Abuja as Group Politics Editor. He assumed his current role in October 2024, having seen the growth of the media trust from a newspaper company to a newspaper conglomerate. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker is the anchor of the flagship program on television, Daily Politics, which discusses governance, policy, and politics. He's a fellow of the International Center for Journalists, ICFJ, and participated in the United States Exchange Program for Media Professionals from Africa in 2013. The gentleman is an author, an alumnus of the Professional Fellows Program, and participant of the Peace Mediation Course Switzerland 2015, equally a member of the Nigerian Guild of Editors. Please welcome our very distinguished guest speaker. He has 10 minutes to reel to us something we can trust. Very distinguished Hamza Idris. A round of applause will be appropriate. You're welcome, sir. 10 minutes, sir. 10 minutes. Your time starts now. It's a reputational matter.
Okay, Daddy, I know. I'm in trouble today. Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And with all sense of responsibility, I want to stand on the existing protocol. And of course, I want to thank the leadership of this great association for inviting me or for finding me worthy, not just to come here as participant, but a special guest speaker. It is a great honor to me, my family, the organization I work for, and my colleagues in the office. I also want to specifically thank Malam Muhammad Kudu Abubakar, who has been my mentor for a very, very long time. He has so much confidence in me that he finds it very easy to ask me to carry out a difficult task, such as this one, to stand before this August gathering. Well, the third slide, I'm actually veering off from what I supposed to. This is to give a very good example on how to manage reputation. And I'm going to cite 2 distinguished gentlemen. In 2013, after the declaration of state of emergency by the Jonathan administration in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa, the first exploit by the military was to capture Kerenwa. Kerenwa is in northern fringes of Borno, close to Cameroon border. General Olukolade was the defense spokesperson that time. And if my memory did not fail me, Brigadier General Kukasheka was actually in Maiduguri handling the image of the military there. I was very stubborn, a stubborn reporter. I was the bureau chief of Daily Trust that time. So we were not aware. But from Abuja, journalists of international media organizations and select national dailies and TV stations were transported to Maiduguri so that they will go and see what happened.
Your microphone is on, sir.
Okay, fine. I hope you will give me 15 minutes, please.
It's a reputational matter.
Yes. So I now said, with your kind permission, ladies and gentlemen, the few words I want to share with you here on the topic I'm to speak on are derived from my comfort zone. That is the experience I gathered from the Media Trust Group. I've been with the company for over 20 years, or about 20 years. I'm therefore among the second generation of employees there who have witnessed the trajectory and the growth of the company. Now I have a teaser. A hypothetical question for this August gathering, and I want just one person to give me an answer so that we can contextualize, because I am bringing newsroom experience. It's not theory, it's just practical, so that within the shortest possible time we can see how PR and media practice blend. And the question I have is, why is Aliko Dangote to greater extent having a mileage in his presumed fight with some of the federal government agencies? I'm not doing PR for him, but why is he having mileage? Because we have crisis in the land. I just want one person to tell me, please. All right. Yes. There's a gentleman there. Yeah.
Okay, once again, my name is Dr. Obin Naizobi. I think Alhaji Dangote has built a strong brand across decades. I think his strong brand is such that his image suggests truth, investment, and whatever you throw at him, his image repairs it, as against the parties at the other side. So in the context of that exchange, your mind tells you that this party might be saying the truth as against the other party. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, mine now. I said the power of being proactive in public relations. What he said is very true. He has built his reputation. But from my end, I'm trying to say he is getting the mileage because of being proactive in terms of public relations. Now, on July 14, dozens of media managers, editors, columnists, and influencers were invited to the Dangote refinery in Lekki, Lagos. I was one of them. It took us almost 11 hours to go around the refinery. Every editor saw the huge investment amounting to over 20 billion and the potentialities therein in solving Nigeria's energy crisis. But a few days after, I think just 2 days or thereabout, some government agencies said the products from the Dangote refinery are below standards. Unfortunately, the sympathies of Nigerians go the way of Dangote in that fight. Why? This is because the media executives that were taken to the refinery have a different opinion. The import of this example is that PR persons that knows his onions must be on top of his game. He must be ahead of time. He must not be the one to do the rejoinder. He must not be on the defensive. His story must be out first. This was what the people around Dangote did, those managing his enterprise. They know that problem will start, but they were so proactive to take the media executives that matter to go and see. So when the story of the sulfur component, it was very difficult for some of us editors in the newsroom to actually take that pill and swallow it, because we have seen it. So any serious public relations, practitioner must be extremely proactive. Another example, I think the name of customs spokesperson was mentioned here. Is he around? Okay, Mewada. I have had a lot of interactions with him. The most latest was when we did a report about some custom operatives who actually killed somebody around Jibia. We reported it in the paper, but very early, I think he was the first to call me. I didn't think he called our editor-in-chief. Then later we spoke. He said, no, that was not the story. Please go and see what really happened. And then we commissioned our reporter to go to Jibia. And before you know, the narrative changed. So it's not about fighting when it comes to public relations, but about being proactive and then how you manage the crisis at hand. Now, how newsroom perceive PR practitioners. how do we perceive you who are public relations practitioners? Newsrooms often view PR practitioners with a healthy dose of skepticism. We generally consider them as, number one, gatekeepers, meaning that PR professionals are seen as guardians of their organization's image, controlling the flow of information. We also see you people as spin doctors in the newsroom. We perceive PR practitioners as trying to manipulate the narrative, downplaying negative aspects and emphasizing positive ones. We also see you as self-serving. Yes, newsroom may assume PR professionals prioritizing their organization's interest over journalistic integrity. I'm trying to be practical. We also see you people trying to control the message, limiting access to information or shaping the narrative to suit their organization agenda. And then number 5, we view you as some people who provide biased information, sharing selective facts or statistics to promote particular viewpoint. You can challenge me later.
Your time is almost going.
No,
your
please.
reputation is now in doubt.
I don't know. Will you plead for him to give me like 5 more minutes? All right. Now, okay.
No, it's part of trying to manipulate the narrative.
Okay. Now, I said, okay, to overcome these perceptions, PR practitioners must take charge of the unexplored opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities in the newsrooms that PR practitioners can explore, but they don't. Maybe some of you do, but then I want to mention some of them. Number 1 is be transparent. Provide accurate, timely information and acknowledge limitations. When we went to Dangote Refinery, they acknowledged their limitations. They said, okay, we have done A, B, C, D, E, but we are unable to do F, G, H, I. And that is why up till today, despite several efforts, to say, okay, Dangote is at work, it is becoming very difficult. They try to be transparent. And as I said, I'm not doing PR for this agency. I'm just giving one example. And I say consider the relationship as win-win. In most instances, PR practitioners, they tend to, consider their own gains at the detriment of the other end. I say there are a number of opportunities that when fully utilized, it will be a win-win situation. For example, co-content creation, event partnership, and then advert placement. If you want to succeed, co-content. In Daily Trust, for instance, Leadership, and many other newspapers, it is your own story, the story of the organization you represent. Or you pay a token to the organization, not advert, and then people will read the story as if it is the normal news, and it's not deception. And then we now said event partnership. Like this event now. Assuming we are in partnership, meaning that you just subscribe for 500 copies of Daily Trust or for Leadership or Punch or whatever. We all do that. And then you come with the copies, the president has spoken and all that. We now capture it in that edition and then you share it here and beyond. And then advertisement. Now you understand journalistic needs. Recognize the importance of objectivity, balance, and relevance so that while giving your information, it will not be biased. And then build relationship. Foster trust through regular communication and helpful assistance. Just to send an editor, happy birthday. Or you heard that he has trouble, I wish you safe return. Not just to call him when you are sending him a press statement. You have to establish that bond so that when he sees your text message, he will just speak it. And I say respect newsroom priorities. Every newsroom, it has its priorities. And then offer exclusive content. I don't want to mention, but as a government agency, from time to time, they now just pick 2 newspapers and then they give them exclusive. As PR practitioners, the organization you represent, there are stories that you can give general. But from time to time, select some newspapers or radio stations or television stations, give them exclusives so that when you bring the normal story, they will carry it because they know that in times of every newspaper, every TV, every station thrives on exclusive stories. Now, others include press releases, feature articles, editorials, media briefing, and op-eds. We have all these opportunities for PR practitioners. Benefits of collaboration. Say increase visibility and credibility. If you collaborate very well with newsrooms and all that, as I said earlier, your visibility will increase, and then effective crisis management. Because don't just run to newsrooms when you have troubles. Even during good times, associate with newsrooms. Improved reputation and brand image, enhanced messaging and storytelling, better audience engagement, and then understanding. Now, sorry, this is the final aspect of it. I said the media trust example. People have been asking, how did we arrive at where we are? I said the media trust conglomerate that you see today is indeed a fascinating story. It started as Media Trust Limited, a consultancy firm. That means the area you are now in charge, the PR. That was how Daily Trust started. Around 1996, by Malan Kabir Yusuf, a non-Nigerian journalist and entrepreneur, and his colleagues. It is indeed not a one-man business. There are shareholders. Over time, they have tried various business models, all in an effort to ensure that the company outlives all of them. Now, initially, the company provided media communication services to various clients, including the PTF. We all know PTF, Petroleum Trust Fund. That was where they started, as a PR consultancy firm. And before you know it, they did a wonderful job. But by 1998, the Media Trust ventured into publishing, launching the Weekly Trust. The paper's initial success led to its expansion into daily publication in 2001. And it is said that it is one of the few newspapers that break even a few years after establishment. What is the secret? Visionary leadership, strategic partnership, investment in talent, innovative storytelling, digital expansion. Some of us that are the second generation, we were recruited based on merit. I wasn't even interviewed. It was recommendation by my teacher. Yeah, okay. So, and now, Daily Trust transformation led to what? Expansion in other media. We have TV now, we have radio, we have digital, among us. And I'm also transiting from a print media journalist to a broadcast journalist. So I want to thank all of you for giving me this audience to speak to you on how PR and the newsroom can collaborate and make the idea to be a win-win situation. Thank you. Of course, if there are questions, I'm ready to answer because I indicted you in doing certain things. Yeah, thank you.
You actually indicted yourself too, sir. But that's a story for another day. It's not the end of the story because there are two generals here, and I know you have their backing, so no wahala. So we'll take a few questions. If you have one, please indicate. Harriet Agbein, are you raising your hand? Is that Harriet Agbein? Oh, rather, that's, okay, that's Madame Illumino. Okay, the microphone will come to you, ma.
Good evening, Chairman, fellows in the House, our very renowned, eloquent speaker of this evening. My name is Mercy Eluemuno. I just want to first appreciate the presentation you have just done. When I first saw the topic, I was like, I know it's in this man won't talk now. What am I going to learn? But you have proven me wrong. Thank you very much. Then I want to ask this question. It's been bothering my mind. What exactly is, what do the journalists term as news? You see, because we did some studies and everything, you know, the where, the what, the who, blah, blah, blah. But I've come to realize that in our country, Nigeria, what people call news, they're like announcements. For instance, the federal government, there was this one the other day, just 2 days ago, I can't remember, something about they are planning to do something, and that is news. I would have thought that news should be the federal government has done something that impacts the life of people. But in Nigeria, they are going to, in the next 10 years, we are looking at Vision 2030, blah, blah, blah. Please educate me further. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We'll take a second one so you can take them all, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
a second one, if there is. A second remark, question, or comment. Yes, sir. Okay, fine. Reputation, fine.
Sorry. Once again, good afternoon. I just wanted to say, as a consumer, what's that? Oh, evening. Sorry. Good evening. Yeah, as a consumer of news on digital, very closely to what she said, how does your organization and every other print media, for example, actually separate themselves from online blogs when putting out information? Because I mean, I've had cause to restrain myself in terms of, actually getting agitated when print media actually put out certain content. It almost seems as if it's a clickbait, which means just trying to redirect people for traffic. So how well did they pay attention in terms of them separating themselves on digital? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guest speaker, sir.
All right. Once again, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I want to go back to the first example, madam, that I cited. On your question is what really impresses, what makes news, right? Number one is human interest. People associate with stories that they can connect with. And in this era of digital media, unless you try and connect with your audience, you will lose them. The example I wanted to cite, you can imagine, there was state of emergency. The Northeast was cut off. No communication, it was no fly zone. Those journalists that were taken from Abuja was at the instance of the defense headquarters. So it was a special occasion. In fact, when they admitted General Kolade here, when he said, okay, they should go with us, they should give us the prize, I still have the photos. No, we don't even have, because we only had access to communication at the government house. So we couldn't even tell our employers that, okay, we are coming up with so story. BBC, Reuters, they had the Reuters, I mean the routers that they could communicate. Even while we were in Krenoa, they were communicating with their offices in France, in this thing. But what happened? When we returned, around 8, I think, at night, or night, we were able to now communicate. When I called office, I said, I have story. We went to Krenoa. We have pictures. I still have those photos where Boko Haram annexed a territory from Nigeria. They have where they keep their animals. We all went with them. Where they have their doctors. Of course, it's in the bush, but I still have the photo. It was scary. So when I called office, I said, we are back from Marte. They had to wait for me. I wrote a full page. Abdul Karim also wrote for the Premium Times. They waited for us. In fact, I sent my story around 12, and the story led the paper. It led the paper. So the answer to this is that people want to connect with what concerns them. So as PR practitioners, it's not always about the chief executives of the place you represent, but where you represent those for the people. So you should always consider what the establishment is doing instead of projecting the heads of the establishment. Of course, you have every right to promote the people you work for, the heads of the agencies and all that. But people connect with what you are doing. I don't know whether I answer your question. So it's about, yes, connectivity. Now the other one, on gatekeeping, right? In this era, you have bloggers and all that. Some of us have established reputation to be a medium of verification. How do I mean? A big story will break. We don't care. We don't care. We told the people handling our online platforms and all that, don't rush. Verify. Because what we realize is that if you have built a reputation for yourself, you don't need to even rush to break stories. Because people will go and check all the blogs and all that, and some legacy media houses. They will say, okay, has Daily Trust carried that report? Go and check their website. So we get the traffic there more than those who broke this, because people will keep coming. Have they verified it? Do they have the story? So by the time you have the story, people are verifying from you. So you have better traffic, because it's all about traffic, the clickbait and all that. That is where the money comes. But if you have established a reputation for yourself, definitely people will come to you. So we don't rush. And we have our various platforms. I said it in the final remarks that we have our TV, we have our radio, we have the digital platform, and we have recruited competent people, and we have gatekeepers. It's not every young reporter that will just post a story. No, we have all the gatekeeping process that we have in the legacy newspaper on our online platforms. Yes, I hope I answer your question.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman will be concluding before you go, but KBC, I think, has a traditional reputational question.
It's not traditional reputation. My Chairman, ESCO members, fellows in the House, distinguished colleagues, council members, professional colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Speaker. I also want to join every other person to commend trust, and that we can trust you, because you have the TV, you have the newspaper, and you also have the radio. It's not easy, so I think we should put our hands together for daily trust for this. Well, the way you started, talking about Dangote, you visited Dangote, and a lot of people have been going to Dangote in Lagos every time. You are there for 11 hours. What? You don't want to make any comment on what transpired in Lagos. But I just want to bring one particular case. The case of Farouk Lawan. When he was going to the prison, it was highly celebrated. I mean, people, but when he came out, it was not celebrated the way it was, the news about him. So what is happening, because of this part of our country, developed country, when you sincerely come out from a prison, you have repented, you'll be accepted into society. Why is this not happening to the case of Farouk Lawan? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Harriet, if you are close, please come quickly. Come quickly to the front.
Okay. Good evening, Chairman, council members, and my other colleagues. First, I'd like to salute your courage for bringing out what actually happens, and which oftentimes we don't take cognizance of, building a relationship between the media and public relations. Kabiesi, with all due respect, sir, I would say that I would like to push the question to you. Do we celebrate criminals, no matter how high profile they are? That's number one. Number two, what you've said is following the story, and within the context of which he spoke to us. I would want a one-on-one with you, because we are speaking to reputation, we're speaking to professional callings, and when we look at this, yes, he went to prison for a crime the court said he committed, and I don't think coming out should be a celebration. It should serve as a deterrent that no matter, it's been covered. I saw all over the place. It should serve as a deterrent that it was covered. We saw him, getting into his car and driving off. We shouldn't celebrate him as well. Yeah. A crime was committed, he spent time, and for me, it's a national development that no matter how high you are, the law is still the law. Having said that, I just want to say to my brother, the guest speaker, that, sir, I'm passionate about, us explaining the collaboration that should happen without making it look like we are patronizing the media. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Chief Mrs. Moji Makojola. We now have Harriet Agbain, my good friend.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think I'll just piggyback, but before I do that, please, my apologies. May I respectfully adopt the protocols established for today's meeting. Thank you very much. Let me piggyback on what Auntie Moji said. How do we put our stories across without seeming to be patronizing? We want to connect with the audience, but why would the reporters focus more on negatives than the positives? Because believe me, we have more positives than the negatives. We want to sell the story. Why don't you sell the positive aspects of it? Why don't we change the narrative? I was in broadcasting just 13 years. I've been in the public service for 7 years. That's cumulatively 20 years. And I've seen the good and I've seen the bad. And I think that we really need to change how we put these narratives out. Let's be more positives, because believe me, you think you're selling the story on a local scene, but we have more global audience who are interested in how we behave and how they can bring things to us. Now, if we're always selling the negatives, nothing good will come to us. So how do we change this narrative?
Thank you very much. I would hand the mic to the chairman, but Mr. Chairman, I see a customs warrant. Am I to respond or not?
Okay, custom is our friend. He has built a reputation.
It's a warrant.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mr. Chair, ESCO's fellows and professional colleagues. Very good evening to you. My question is very simple. I'm going to the foundation of journalism. Some of us will know that I pick on your words. You mention advertising and you subtly mention news commercialization. Is it ethical or not? Thank you very much.
The microphone swings to Mr. Chairman now. There's one on your table, sir. There's a mic on your table.
Thank you very much. I think at this point, I need to stand up to appeal to you. This meeting actually is built to have stopped by now. But again, this is the moment, or one of the moments, I really appreciate, because like I said earlier, capacity building is a priority for the FCT chapter. And this is part of it. I'm glad we are proceeding. I will just, from the executive seat, I'll just give one slot to one of the executive members. After that, I will appeal to the keynote speaker to manage to use 2 minutes to finish all the questions. When we come back, just like Professor K said, we should not take hours for granted. We should also listen to the guest of honor and the DG that is in our midst. After that, we shall be rounding up for today. If the purpose of my standing is accepted, should I sit down now? Okay, fine. The ayes have it.
The ayes have it. There are no nays.
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I would also like to stand on the existing protocols and also toe the line of my colleague, the PRO, the customs PRO. You talked about collaboration. An organization can give an exclusive where you partner, they pay something, you say this. But for me, PR is about packaging. I want to package my organization, and I'm paying you to do that. You're going to tell the story the way I want it, right? What happens to reporting factually? You went to Dangote. You saw what happened in Dangote. What you had to do, was it reporting to fulfill your obligation as the fourth estate of the realm, or it was an advertisement to help Dangote cushion the effect of what he has perceived might happen? So where does journalism stand? Where does public relations stand in this regard? Because you can't tell this, I can't pay you to do an exclusive. I can't tell you to do an exclusive for me. It has to be my story, right? So where does your own job comes in? Thank you.
2 minutes, sir. Your time starts now.
All right, thank you very much. First is to thank every other person here for developing interest in my short presentation. I'm really humbled by this. Yes, to Kavesi, Mama Moji has answered that. In the newsroom, when this happened yesterday, they approached me. They said, okay, how do we go about it? I said, just report it. It's not a positive story. But people must hear about it. So we just reported it. But then I said, okay, can we work ahead of the weekend to say, okay, what next for Farouk Lawan? What next for him? Because this is what Nigerians, because if you are convicted, meaning you will not take any political appointment, public office or whatever. So this is what we are trying to explore now. We want to have an interview with him. We also want to talk to people close to him. And then on collaboration, certainly, many media houses, if you look at it, if you take a record, hundreds of newspapers, they have gone down the line because the spirit behind them is actually personal. If you take Abiola, you know, of course, Champion is still there, but then quite a number of politicians, they've plotted newspapers, but it was to advance their political career. But the moment they actualize it, they either die or they fizzle out. If they didn't get it, the same thing. Now, newspapers that you still see, they are thriving. They are actually business-oriented newspapers. And for you, you can't just serve as charity. Daily Trust is not a charity. Of course, we have a foundation, but then we need money. So I'm trying to answer your question, Ma, and that of my wada. Where is the ethical consideration, right? We report straight news, all your activities and all that. But there are certain news that may not necessarily be of interest to the public. But you are interested in them. That is where we said, okay, come, let's do core content creator. If you open it, it is your story. You tell it the way you want it. But then we also fact check it. It's not just to give the space. And you pay us a token. If you pay us a token, and then you now tell your story the way you want it with all the accompanying photos and all that. That is why I said it is actually a win-win situation. And finally, for the Dangote, why I cited example, and I apologize, I said it's the most latest example. The whole of the world, it's not only about Nigeria. People are interested. We've been having problem with the oil sector. Here is a 20 billion naira investment. Now, dollars. Now, what happened? 2 days after that, somebody said, Dangote does not even have a laboratory in that refinery. I'm sure many of us read that. But I was there. I entered the laboratory, and I have the picture, the video here. I wish there is time. And I said, I'm not doing PR for him. So, PR practitioners, to get it right, you have to be ahead of your competitor. And then you have to be factual. I mentioned this. If you invite me or you invite my reporter, he sees what you are doing. If your detractor comes tomorrow and says that you are not what you are, I have every reason to reject his story. I have every reason to reject his story. So you have to be proactive. If you are proactive, you will always not be the person to do the rejoinder or corrigendum, because corrigendum will never outshine the real story. So PR practitioners must always be proactive. Finally, somebody will ask, for this time, I keep citing example with Borno and all that. The chief executive of the Federal Radio Corporation, Dr. Bulama, here, we work together there. He was a commissioner in Borno. Transparency. If you are transparent, even if you are wrong, you will get sympathy if you are transparent. During our days when we were covering, almost every other day, there was press conference telling people that, yes, this is what happened. Collaboration with the military, collaboration with immigration, with civil defense. So the narrative was actually collective because the people at the helm of affairs were proactive. So you have to be very, very proactive, and you shouldn't expect that simply because you are doing social service that every other person must also do social service. But if we all agree, we all coalesce into a single force, people will trust us. There is trust deficit in Nigeria now. there is trust deficit. So we should try and use the platforms we have. That is, let me put it like town and gown, university and the public. The same thing, PR and the newsroom. We have to work together. I itemize why we are suspicious of some of the things you are doing. And I also mention your strengths and all that. By the time we put all these things together, definitely it will remain a win-win situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a bigger round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think the purpose of this session is achieved. It was actually deliberate to bring this topic because as public relations officers, we need this. And I want to commend the courage of the keynote speaker to have had the courage to look at our faces and told us the truth. Let's give him a bigger round of applause. Yeah, I want to accept that exactly what you said is what most of the PROs believe in. And then, like you said, we must work very closely and together to achieve a better society. The Daily Trust, the keynote, sir, before we leave this, yes, this is now the time for the FCT to address your organization. Because you talk about proactiveness. We're actually PRO practitioners. We brought you here because you know you will deliver. But more importantly is the partnership that will come after this presentation. So we want, on behalf of the Executive Committee, to thank you very sincerely and say that in days to come, we'll visit you and then we'll see the areas of collaboration. You say AGM? Okay, I didn't hear it. So we're going to see how we can sign some partnerships, win-win situation for your organization. And then more importantly for me and for everybody is the concept of co-creation of content. Very, very good concept. That is also a win-win situation. So I thank God that we got the quality of what we wanted. This conversation will go on because from the number of questions you have seen today, you now see that your presentation provoked a lot of thoughts and argument. So we'll take it further. And then on that note, I want to once again thank you. We'll now call on the PRO to quickly bring the two fish on board, and then we'll begin to wind down for today. No, we don't have fishes. We have fish.
Well, the first fish in the name of the chairman to speak is a confident, well-organized, reliable, and efficient individual, experienced in journalism, public relations, business communication, marketing, product and human development. And he is a gentleman per excellence and stands today as our special guest of honor. Please welcome to the podium to speak to us very briefly the Executive Secretary and CEO of the Nigerian Press Council, NPC, very distinguished Dr. Dili Ezuga. A round of applause is appropriate. I was told, sir, that you have 2 minutes, but I hope I survive.
I probably will make it one. All protocols observed. I am humbled to be here, honored as well. I think all over the nation, the NIPR is a very serious-minded organization. I do not have any doubts when the prof said this is the best organized professional body in the country. I think we can see that here. You know, the caliber of people who are here, the way things have been organized, we can see that. We are one, NIPR is one. I'm of the Lagos chapter, but I think I
would transfer my membership to this place. Thank you very much.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, and so say all of us. I hope the Lagos people are not hearing. Some of them are eyeing me from where they are. Okay, next to speak is my Director General, as you heard from the guest speaker, a man who has served in various capacities before becoming Director General. Please welcome Dr. Mohammed Bulama for a brief comment. Mr. Chairman, it will be difficult for me to tell him how many minutes he has. I'll leave that to you.
So you are becoming Pasha.
It's a reputational matter.
Very proactive chairman. You have the mic, sir. It's there. Oh, okay. Very proactive chairman, members of the ESCO, fellows, and please permit me to stand on the already established protocol. Let me say that when I came in here, because I knew I was so late, I was actually thinking that I was going to be fined or something. So, but to my utter, well, I say dismay, you know, the chairman, when the chairman introduced me, I was so embarrassed because I was coming in so late. You know, I tried to reach him on phone to tell him that I wanted to come, but I wasn't sure if I should come at all because I was running so late. I apologize for coming late. I was assigned some work by the minister, by my minister, who incidentally is a fellow of this important institute. And I was carrying out the assignment which he ought to have done himself. But because today was the day of long knives, as you would know in the villa, he wasn't around, so I had to do it. And that's why I came in late, so my apologies, please. And I want to thank the chairman for the recognition, nevertheless. So thank you very much. Let me associate myself with my colleague, the executive secretary, to say that the NIPR is a great organization we're all very proud of. There are not this many organizations where you go and meet this number, the quantum and quality of people who are here. You know, tells a story. It tells a story. So I'm very, very proud to be associated with the NIPR. And I'd also like to say that I was not surprised by the presentation of the guest speaker, because he's a man I've known for, you know, a better part of 30 years or so. From the University of Maiduguri to the time when he served as correspondent in Government House, Maiduguri. And, anybody who had I'm not sure whether it's a privilege or misfortune of working in Borno in those days, between 2010, 11, up to like maybe 4 years back. Things have calmed down substantially now. But in those days, it was really, really tough for those of us who were on the ground, for those 8 years, but especially for people who are doing very visible work, like journalists, with whom, by the way, I had to work because I was Commissioner of Information. So I wasn't surprised, the courage that he had to make this presentation. Because ordinarily, a lot of us, those of us who are uninitiated, will think that there's so much convergence between journalists and PR practitioners, that you will not expect somebody to, describe PR practitioners as being doctors, as people who manipulate the narrative, and so on and so forth. But he said it. But nevertheless, be that as it may, there is no option for journalists and PR practitioners but to work together. Because at the end of the day, a lot of journalists or a lot of PR practitioners are journalists anyway. You know, people who have made their, you know, like Auntie, Moji, this Mohammed, Kuda, Bakar, name them. These are journalists who have made their mark and they are PR practitioners. So it's even difficult to say, you know, you can draw a line. So it's important that the two entities work together very, very, very closely. Because at the end of the day, it's about our country. If we don't manage the reputation of Nigeria very well, you know, we'll continue to wallow in problems. So that's my take. You know, the collaboration is very, very necessary. I know I've spoken for more than 2 hours. I mean, two minutes. You know, you won't blame me. You know, when the PR, I mean not the chairman, the PRO, who is also managing the event this evening, you know, is your comrade in FRCN, not myself, my comrade. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, my DG. Mr. Chairman, it's back to you now. Assignment completed.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we are done, but I just want to recognize a few appointments and successes. We must not always take our own for granted. Dr. Obin, are you still here? Okay, it's not here. He just recently got his PhD. Yeah. We also have Faponda Tiwalade. Please be on your feet. She also went to the United States and come back with a PhD. Yes. Congratulations, congratulations. So you can sit down. We also have our dear Ayo Adewoyi. You would have read in the news that 7 of the executive directors of NTA were relieved of their duties. But one of us survived it. Yes. And then I'm so glad. The reason is simple. Ayo Adewoyi has committed to be a very responsible member of this chapter. He comes for meetings. He puts in his finances to the Corporate Social Responsibility and Sustainability Committee. He also has helped the chapter tremendously with the approval of the Director General of NTA to ensure that every meeting of the FCT is covered by the NTA. So when I was with the President one evening when the news broke, all of us were like jittery until we saw it that our own Ayo was reappointed. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, it's not, yeah, but we also want to announce that one of us recently was promoted to the rank of Deputy Corps Marshal of Road Safety. That is the second in command. Yes, he was promoted, and then at the same time, his time had come. But more importantly is that if any appointment is going to be given to him in Nigeria today, you can no longer give him anything less than Deputy Corps Marshal of the Federal Republic. So Jonas Agu was able to attain that and is our member. I equally want to say that our dear brother Mewada, is he still here? Okay, went to pray. Mewada also has won an international award. IPRA is actually the international version of public relations. So he has also, through his campaigns, won an international award and is widely celebrated. I think it's also one of those that is making us proud. He recognizes the chapter and then he does what he needs to do. Recently invited the chapter for a function and then he promoted us at that too. Then we also have our dear distinguished fellow Joe Ita. He has recently retired about 2 weeks or thereabout. But again, the joy of it is that he retired as a director at the NEPC. So we are glad that he retired with his 2 legs and 2 hands intact. So we shall celebrate them in due course. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Mewada is just coming in. That is one thing that we have acknowledged. It's good to be good, so that even when your matter is discussed in your absence, when you come it's repeated, because you have built reputation capital. So Wada, in your absence, we celebrated you for your award, and then we also thank you for giving the chapter and the chapter leadership their due recognitions in your programs. So thank you for flying the flag of the institute at the organization that you work, and then we'll continue to pray with you, and then we are also pledging our availability wherever you need us. Yes, Tunde Oladapo is also coming in, but he was here before, and then he's one of our members that we respect so much. He was one time vice chairman of this very numero uno chapter, and then he also went to lead an organization that is continental as the executive secretary. Now he's with us in this meeting, and then he has also done a very profound contribution to the chapter. Let's give him a big round of applause too. So please, for those of us who have not registered our name in one way or the other, please, as you go, think what you can do for the FCT chapter, and of course be assured that we are also proactive in thinking what we can do for you. The PRO, please, if there are new members in our midst, let's recognize them, and then we'll begin to close the meeting.
Thank you very much. We have some new members. If you are attending for the very first time, or you wish to transfer your membership, which is a welcome development, please rise for recognition now or remain where you were before. That includes our guest speaker, who has now become a PR member by force. So we are in the business together. So we already know our guest speaker. Please just, it's a tradition that very quickly you just mention your name, your organization.
Okay, yes, my name is Hamza Idris. I work for the Daily Trust newspaper.
I'm Dr. Dilie Zua, Nigerian Press Council.
I'm Felulan Tana Ahmed, retiree or retired. So, but I'm transferring from Nasarawa to here.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Tunde Kamali, Securities and Exchange Commission.
Sarah Sander, this is not my first meeting. I've been trying to transfer my membership. I hope it gets done this time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Blessing Abu. I work with the Nigerian Television Authority.
Good evening, sirs. Good evening, Maz. My name is Amina Nujaim, Nigerian Television Authority.
NTA family.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Promise Oka. I work with Legend Golden Care Foundation.
Welcome.
Good evening, NIPR. My name is Ibrahim Ahmidu. I work for NTA.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Olive Chamak Sadiq. I'm a creative director of Image.Africa, a multimedia company. Thank you.
Good evening, all. My name is Olufemi. I'm from NTA.
The whole of NTA is here. The last two names, you need to watch the video.
My name is Bimbola Sulaiman from National Orientation Agency.
Good evening. My name is Monica Chidima Chukwemeka AC in Nimasa.
Thank you. So there's paper moving round for them to write their names. Please do that as I hand over to Yeye Aisha for the birthday celebration quickly.
Okay, while they are opening the cakes so that we don't come back to this again, please, just a few information you need to know. For those who are still interested in going to Indonesia for the World Public Relations Forum, we just got the confirmation from the embassy that the processing of the visa is 2 weeks. It therefore means that by next week, those who are interested, please do the needful. The Minister of Information and National Orientation is going to lead that delegation, and the President of NIPR is also going to be there. So please take note. Date is from 16th to 22nd of November. But because Indonesia is a 2-day journey, you leave from around 14 or thereabout. So further information will be sent to you. Then recently too, the NIPR has officially unveiled what we call the Nigeria Reputation Management Group. That was on Tuesday last week. It was a huge success. And the president, who is unavoidably absent in this meeting, of course, we know that the president has attended 99% of our meetings. Today, he's not able to make it, but he has sent his regrets and said that I should thank you very profoundly for finding time to honor him at that event. So please, we want to equally thank you for the ongoing ABLI conference, which we called on you, and a lot of you are participating. These are the few information we need to know. Please keep on checking our social media handles for more updates. Aisha, if you are ready, let's go.
We're ready, sir. Good evening again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. So we'd like to invite all the October celebrants, birthday celebrants in the house to please come out to cut their cakes. And we'd like to thank all the members who contributed to the purchase of these cakes. Like we said, the Welfare Committee will be happy to get donations from you to keep our activities running. So please, a round of applause for the members who gave us money to buy these cakes. So if it's your birthday, we'll usually call on you to please, no matter how little it is, please just contribute to what we're doing so that we can always have cakes provided for the members. And I'd like to thank my members. Ghanaians has been at the forefront of making sure that we get donations. Also the vice chairman of this committee, Stanley, and Austin, he has also been behind the drive. So please, a round of applause for them. So all the October babies, please come out. Then I would like to invite the council members present, fellows present, to please join them. October is a very special month. Nigeria celebrated its birthday, 1st of October, so these are very special people. So I would like all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen seated at the front to please come out and take a picture with them. Starting from Kabiesi, please can you lead the teams at the front to please come? Yeah. So please go together, come together. Please come together if you're in October. Come together so that you take a picture first. Are you October? Okay. No, okay. So quickly do that so that they can. Then I'd like to invite my chairman to please join. Hajia Mariam to please also join the group. Distinguished generals, thank you so much. Please let's create room so that the picture can be beautiful and everyone can be captured. Professor Okechukusa, please, we're waiting for you on the podium. October is a very special month, so we want them to have very special picture. Please, can we just, some people can actually stand at the front. You can come and just stand around here so that we can have a beautiful picture. Sorry, ma. Can we just slant? Let's slant towards where I am.
No, let's land that way. Let's land towards where Madam Grace is facing, so that we can have, yeah, the group can, where we can have it trimmed. Wait, watch. So let's move back a bit. Let's just land. Excuse me. So that you don't disrupt the picture. Let's just take this first. Thank you. So we're going to cut this cake. Once you hear, the last letter that I'm going to call, then we'll cut the cake. Then we'll follow that with a song for them. So we'll start with the letter N, I, P, R, A, B, J. A round of applause for them. Please, can we all rise to sing a beautiful song for them? I don't want us to go the way of for their Jolly Good Fellows now. This is a bubbling month. DJ, please, can you give us a very good music? So please, can we all be on our feet and just, shake a bit? This is a special month. October is very special for everybody. Nigeria became an independent country in October. Happy birthday! Volume now, DJ. Please, wherever you are, just shake for them. This is a jolly time. A round of applause for everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this. Thank you. Happy birthday.
Okay, thank you very much, Welfare Committee. We will now take
a round of applause for all of us.
Thank you. We will now take a picture of the special guest of honor. The special guest of honor, the guest speaker, please come for picture with all members of the ESCO very quickly. Special guest of honor, guest speaker, please come up for picture. Director General Dr. Bulama, please come up for picture. Quickly, we'll quickly take this picture before we close. Special guest of honor, Director General FRCN, all members of the ESCO present. We'll take this quick picture with them. Yes, right at the center there. Yeah. We'll take the cake out. Take the cake out. Thank you. So we'll take this quickly. Photographers, quickly. Let's take this. Let's take this quickly. All right. Thank you very much. Announcement: the UN Day. PC Favor Brown has sent announcement that the UN Day. Favor Brown, is she here? PC Favor Brown sent announcement that the UN Day is holding this Friday at Asokoro at Africa Community School, 10 a.m. and we're all invited. Also on Friday, Raymond Dopesi lecture this Friday. NIPR is host. And finally, our Secretary General Amaka is bereaved. Please call her. She's bereaved. Please call her. We now rise for the national anthem, please. The national anthem, please. Yes. Please raise the volume. The Friday program, Raymond Dopesi, the chairman, will be sending more information through us to the platform. The national anthem, please. National anthem. Thank you very much. for joining us, and have a good evening, everyone. Bye for now.
Do you know this man? Yeah, we graduated from the same class. The same class. I was expecting you to speak. I don't want to talk. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairman. It's a pleasure. It's a good one. I will discuss with you.
So we have cake. If you're a lover of cake like I am,